Okay, so let me get the presentation up. Okay. I'll start sharing the screen in a minute, hopefully. Do it. Oh, there it is. Okay, so welcome to the Marketing Manifesting Your Business free webinar. I'm Nicolas, and the Centre for Conscious Ascension. So we're making this as a YouTube video, Zuriel, so it's got to cover a lot of people. So
got it.
So I'm going to say some stuff for people coming cold. So many of you have asked, how do I market Centre for Conscious Ascension? And my mission is to help you manifest your mission of service. So I'm going to share the secrets of how I market and manifest Centre for Conscious Ascension. That's what we're going to do. And processes we're going to share here are more fifth dimensional processes and more higher consciousness ways of running business. We're not focused on maximizing return on investment, making as much money as possible, which is what most businesses do, and they'll do anything to do that. We're focusing on manifesting maximum return on consciousness here. That's what we're trying to do here. Let me just make sure my phone's turned down here. Just a sec. Okay, so I want to find out why you are here. Okay, so Zero, what's brought you here? So I get some feel for what you need. So.
Yeah. So I have been running my own business for about 7 years, and it's been in a higher consciousness aspect. And I would say over the last year, things have shifted really rapidly. And now it's just to the point where I'm like, I would like to expand. And there are a few things that I feel like I would like some guidance on getting myself out there and how to do the marketing in a way that is higher consciousness in 5D, and where I can kind of go from there.
Okay. All right. You come to the right place. So this is like a taster for the full 2-day training, Marketing Manifesting Your Business, running on the 3rd and 4th of February. This is the first couple of hours. So to give you a feel for what we're doing here.
Okay.
Because I sort of learned how to do this the hard way. But I thought I'd share what I do with you guys so that you can learn to do it a bit easier. Okay.
Yes.
So what do you think a spiritual entrepreneur is? Just give me your best shot. What do you think that is? No right answers here or wrong answers or whatever.
I would say someone who is in alignment with self first and in alignment with higher consciousness, and not about money making, but about their purpose and their service and how they can increase and elevate consciousness as a whole in harmonization.
Okay, so there you go. So aligning, pretty much what you said. So basically alignment with the soul, and their business is basically a representation of the inner soul journey. Is what being a spiritual entrepreneur is. Okay, so how do you become one? Okay, you begin with the end in mind, and that is delivery of your gift of service to the world. Okay, that's the point of this. To your dream client avatar that you'll love working with, and they love working with you. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so what is this? And what is this here? So what is that gift of service? And the gift of service is what you're most passionate about delivering. Yeah. Okay. And this is to be found in your soul contract. in the physical and spiritual karma aspects in your soul destiny, all the toughest challenges you face, that's where your gift of service is, because that's where you pay the most attention, and that's what you work on as a light worker. So all the things which are challenging are what you're going to deliver to the world. Okay? That's your training. The initial part of life is training to deliver your gift of service. Okay. So basically, normally we do it in pairs, but we've only got you today, so we lost one. So basically, we'll do a little exercise here. We can just do you and me. So
Okay.
So I'll just talk to you about this. So who is your audience out there? Who is your audience? Yeah, I'll talk about that. So the thing about the audience is gender, age range, income level, because we've got to get a good idea of who these people are, level of consciousness, what's their degree of commitment to the spiritual path, how spiritually evolved are they, and where do they actually hang out? So who is your audience, Syria?
I would say that the majority of mine are female, though I do have some male aspects that come in. Age range is going to be between 25 and 47.
Yep.
I would say level. I would say that varies because the majority of them too, just like when the money comes, they tap into it. It's the right timing for them.
Yeah.
So I would say that based off the right timing for the soul experience and who's ready to really dive into themselves and work on their spiritual path. And so the commitment to their spiritual path is really big for my clients that come in. How evolved are they? Fairly evolved. The ones that come to me are fairly evolved. They just need a little bit more guidance on their path. And where do they hang out? I would say the majority of mine hang out online or through YouTubes. So there's an online aspect, and then I do have connectors that are just people that are really close through word of mouth.
Okay. So can I feed that back to you now? Just close your eyes so you can hear that, because often we do this a lot in our heads. Okay. So I heard it's primarily female, 25 to 47 years. Okay. All right. They're very committed. Okay. They really, they're pretty evolved, and they hang out online. Okay. And they come to you when they're ready. When the money presents itself, the flow's there, they will come. Does that sound about right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. How does that feel to hear that mirrored back to you externally? What we're doing is we're bringing that reality out into the world.
That feels really good. It feels very present.
Yeah. So I just want to check something here. Making sure the recording's running properly here. Okay, so what we're doing is that we're actually creating the reality of it more strongly by naming it and mirroring it. That's what we're doing here.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah. Okay. So how's that been going for you so far?
It's been going really, really well. I did have a business partner last year and we did really well. And then it was time for us to shift on our solo pathways. And I just restarted up my business in November and it's started off really, really, really well. And it's kind of like peaked down this month. So I'm just kind of in the earlier stages of that rebrand.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I want to check something here. So what we're going to cover in the full training about becoming a spiritual entrepreneur is how to become that spiritual entrepreneur. marketing and manifesting your business. Getting real clear what your gift of service is, because you understand your audience, but now we need to deliver the gift to them. Dissolving your ego, because your personal development process and your external business development process are one and the same thing. It's an external hologram of your internal journey. Okay. Normally in business, people separate their personal life from their business. When a spiritual entrepreneur, it's one and the same thing. It's actually one and the same thing for everybody. They just don't realize it. So the degree with which you can evolve your business is dependent on how far you evolve personally yourself. Okay. And your home energy is very important. The balance of energies at home is critical to this. Okay, because that's your energetic foundation. All right. And who is your audience? We just talked about that. Okay, pretty clear who they are. We think we know who they are, but we actually have to go and test that. We have to try and connect to these people and find out what is the sweet spot. Who are these people? And so we will also cover how business success is an inside job. It's an emotional inside job, but it also requires us to do external work to create the business. And there's a paradox in spiritual businesses where we'll talk about how to reconcile the feminine and masculine within us to deliver our skills to the world. Because we have these very touchy-feely feminine skills that we deliver with spiritual work, but we need a masculine container with which to take it out in the world. Otherwise, no one's going to find us. So it's very crowded out there. Okay. And we talk about staying connected with this 5D energy and community that comes from this training. We also talk about how for people who, not you in this case, who want to escape from the corporate matrix, they've realized they don't want to be on the salt mountain they've been programmed to climb. They want to be out there making a difference. Money's no longer the issue. It's more, how can I make a difference in the world? How can I get some fulfillment? Then we look at what is the most effective form of marketing. Because the sort of marketing we do is quite different to what you would do to sell goods in the 3D world. And why are business names so important? The vibration of business names needs to be set up to attract the right customer. We talk about how we do that. Okay. And so it's a bit I want to talk about here. I think there's a slide missing, actually. I think there's a slide's gone missing. Okay. I want to find my slide. I don't know what's happened to it. Something's disappeared here. I think there should have been a slide here. Okay, we missed the slide here. We know who the audience is. So what is your gift of service to the world, Zuriel? What are you most passionate about? We should have done this first. I skipped it, but for some reason it skipped.
I am most passionate about when clients come in. The thing that I get super excited about is when they get to see who they are truly.
Okay.
That is my favorite. So that is even one little tiny clearing or a shred of something that shifts slightly, a frequency that shifts, and they can get back to the fact that they are whole and they are a part of oneness. That's just my favorite part.
Okay. And what is in your physical and spiritual karmic aspect of soul destiny that's going to be a gift of service? Okay.
Can you say that again?
What would you say, trying to differentiate the gift of service more? Okay. What is the main thing that you're having to work through? What have been your main physical and spiritual karmic challenges that you're going to draw upon in terms of the lessons that are going to help you deliver that passion to the world?
So I would say the walk-in aspect is really big to work through. Uh, Balancing out my masculine and my feminine.
Yeah.
Is more masculine. Um, really learning how to work through worthiness is a big one for me.
Yeah.
And balancing out my spiritual gifts into the human experience was really massive as well.
Can you say that last one again? Balancing out.
My spiritual gifts with the human experience. As the human experience was very like an unknown place for me, and so to be able to balance that out and balance out my ability to remember and see with the fact that I have a human embodiment is a big balancing aspect for me. So a lot of beings do come in for that piece too.
Okay. Anything else? That's quite a lot with making sure you got it all.
I would definitely like lastly say play, coming back into that innocent aspect, the child aspect.
Okay. All right. So I heard that you're trying to integrate the walk-in. So for you guys who aren't familiar with the walk-in, where there's a change of soul at a very specific time astrologically, it brings in a lot more potential, a lot more powerful soul to build on the mission of the first soul. That's what a walk-in is. Okay.
Yep.
I'm a walk-in. I walked in when I was 11. And you're here to balance the masculine and feminine. Okay. And balancing out your spiritual gifts with the earthly experience, bridging the gap between the completely different levels of consciousness and dimensions. Okay. So the engagement on the earth plane is going to bring you in the body and ground you in the present beyond just the vision and excitement of being a walk-in. We always have great excitement about the mission to actual ground a reality of actually how do we make it happen in the slow treacle-like process of being in the matrix. Does that sound about right?
Sure does.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's for you, it's a gift of service of bringing higher consciousness to earth as a walk-in, but also
Yes.
it's a process of integration. The benefit for you is the integration into how the earthly reality actually works, and learning what it is to be human. We call it playing the role of being human. Okay, that's what we call the walk-in, pretending to be human. Okay, even though you look at life completely differently to the majority of people.
Uh-huh.
So that's always a great, or it's always a very powerful journey for walk-ins when that happens. And all of us, to deliver our mission as light workers, we have to delve into places in our ego which we'd rather not look at, but we know we need to in order to carry the mission out. Like my primary goal is to learn to move into self-love. Okay, because of a very difficult childhood I had, there's not a lot of self-love in my body. So that's something I'm here to teach others. So our greatest challenges, our greatest karma is our greatest gift. How's all that sound as a process?
Yeah, it sounds spot on.
Yeah, yeah,
Definitely pushed my vessel a little bit too far with that mission aspect first walking in, and so it took me a while to get to where I'm at right now.
yeah, yeah.
Grateful for that.
So we need to match the gift of service here. We spend a lot more time in the training on this. We match that gift of service or balancing male, female, okay, helping people balance their spiritual gifts with the human experience. With that female group, we're going to meet in the middle. That female group will act when the money is there, the time is there, the energy is there, so they can access their gift of service and deliver it to the world. Because that gift of service is what light workers are always looking for, always seeking. It's a thing we feel at a very young age. And God sends hundreds of millions of us to Earth to raise consciousness, or what we call ground crew. The 8 billion people here came here to learn in the school of Earth. We've done this many times before, so we come to share our skills, share our love, share our gifts, to raise that frequency of humanity in the process. And so we need to learn to be, as lightweights, we need to know what is the human experience like. How do we reach these people when there's so much choice out there? How do we attract them so they love what we do and we love delivering our gift of service to them? So that's the purpose of marketing, manifesting your business. You have to have got to reach, they've got to meet together, okay, and that crossover. And that's once you've got that figured out what that is, then you have the seed of a business that's going to work, because people get attracted to you for what you're most passionate about, not because you're doing it because you want to earn the money. Okay, they come because they know you love doing what you do. Okay, and then that's the beginning of a business. And we spend the weekend talking about how do you turn it, what are all the components, as I've just outlined, that are required to actually turn it into a viable business that will actually pay your 3D bills, that will actually grow and expand and make a difference in the world. How's all that sound?
That sounds beautiful. Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited.
So there are, we'll just skim those again. Hang on. So there's a human component here. To summarize this: dissolution of ego, having a good home base, finding your tribe, connecting with them, working on your stuff. As you work on your inside issues that trigger, what happens is that clears things in the business, in the outer world. Basically, opens up for you. As we blend the masculine and feminine skill base required for this, the business starts to happen, even though the instinct in us, oh, I don't like masculine energy because it's all about money and stuff like that. Okay. And learning to escape from the corporate matrix. We're so brainwashed that we become dependent on it. I used to be in the corporate world in London, where you've got to follow the process, the 3D low frequency process. But then escaping requires us to surrender and let go to life in order for our personal and professional lives to work as our spiritual entrepreneurs. We talk all about that, following the spiritual signature. Because there is a plan. Everyone has there's a plan already laid out by the higher self. We just got to surrender and let go and trust it. And then we need to find a way to reach the people. We talk about that a lot. We actually want that meeting of our gift and what we love to do and what they love to receive. We talk about vibrational frequency to actually attract them. And then we talk about how do we roll our services out. So we have to use some 3D masculine processes, but in a conscious way. We have to create our channels to market, which basically means what's the communication channel, what's the means of delivery of the service. And we talk about things called sales funnel webinars, which is what we do in Centre for Conscious Ascension a lot, which has built this, turn this into a global business. How do we actually reach people, given they have so much choice? How do we entice them to first come in? This is the beginning of the sales funnel webinar for marketing, manifesting your business. And so you get a taste of it, you liked it, you said, okay, I want a bit more, maybe I'll come on the training. Okay. And then we have what's a spiritual business plan? In 3D business, we have very thick business plans. I used to remember writing these things, but this thick, very linear, very left brain of what we write to actually make a business happen. In a spiritual business, we don't do that. We have a completely different way of doing it. We follow the divine plan. We talk about how to do that. So we basically, all the components in an almost 3D business we have, but in a much more conscious manner. We talk about how they actually work. Okay. And I found this out through trial and error. I really had a hard time because I tried to apply 3D business principles to a 5D business when I first started this business 26 years ago, 27 years ago, and it was not good. Didn't work very well. Half the things I tried to do didn't work. And I think, why is that not working? Worked in the corporate world because I didn't understand anything that we're going to put, what I've been talking about to you today.
Okay.
But basically, in 2 days, I mean, it takes 18 to 24 months to become a spiritual entrepreneur fully if you're starting from scratch, because basically requires a complete mindset change and deprogramming of what you got from the corporate matrix. So what we're doing here is that we're basically in 2 days, so it's like 12 contact hours, I'm showing you the fifth dimensional landscape of all the key points you need to be aware of. A lot of it, you may not be fully aware of why it's there and what you got to do with it. But if you understand the fifth dimensional landscape and how to manage all those different energies, then you've got a good chance, much better chance of the business being successful.
Okay.
So it's a top-down overview, snapshot. Here's the landscape. Here's the new reality you've got to get into, because most people come from 3D jobs, and there is no training in this, which is why I produce this training, because everyone kept asking me, how do you do this? Mira Ariel, who set up this business with me, she runs a separate business now. And we realized that our practitioners and spiritual entrepreneurs in general need to understand this stuff, which is why I came up with this training, because no one else was doing anything like this. Okay.
Yeah.
So once we lay out the landscape, then we'll have guest speakers who will also show you, that are my practitioners, who will then take you on the 18-month, 24-month journey, if you're interested, where they will teach you how and coach you to change that, make that complete mindset change. And they'll also show you how to structure your websites and your back offices and all the systems so they actually will deliver that fifth dimensional gift of service. So basically, this is just the beginning of a process to completely shift into being successful at this. And that requires a lot of discipline and drive. It's not something which is just going to happen overnight. But the main thing with this is that we figured out what works, and most importantly, what doesn't work. Because a lot of entrepreneurs, potential spiritual entrepreneurs I've discovered are doing this by trial and error. They think they're trying to reinvent the wheel. And it's very hard to reinvent the wheel when you're in a world which is highly competitive. There's a lot of people doing this sort of work out there. So we're distilling decades of experience with this training to actually give you a leg up so you can actually make a good start and don't waste time on things which are never going to work. Because they never teach you how to be an entrepreneur in the matrix. You're taught to be a slave. You go to school, higher education, you're taught to do as you're told. Whereas here, you have to become a business owner. You have to be in charge. And most people are not used to being in charge. They're looking for their boss. There is no boss because they are the boss. And it's a big step to become a leader. Buck stops with you. And that's a big, we're trained to be dependent. And this is about being independent and sovereign. And the only boss ultimately is God. It's following the flow of spirit. And it takes a while to get used to doing that as well. So this is about this massive mindset transition from 3D to 5D and the actual very specific processes that need to be worked on. That's what we offer with the training. How does that sound?
That sounds lovely. Yes.
Yeah. Any questions? That's sort of a summary of what we're going to do on the weekend. That was just a taster of what we are at the beginning of the training. So.
Yeah. So really, overall, this is just about how much self-work I've done, how much internal mind shifting I can do to get into a space where it's shifted enough out of the corporate matrix so that I could really represent my gift of service in a way that attracts the right people and keeps me at a level where I want to stay, frequency-wise.
Yeah, it's mindset shift, and we're going to give you very specific structures of how things work in a conscious, integrous business. And if you manage all those different plates spinning, you've got a good chance this is actually going to work. Because 99% of starting a new business like this is sweat, endurance, determination. 1% is inspiration, as with all things. And the people who succeed are the ones who persist. Obviously, you've got to be doing the right thing. But if you're delivering your gift of service to the right people, and you're persisting and doing the right processes, there's a good chance you make it. 9 out of 10 small businesses fail in the first 2 years simply because they are either not focused on the right thing, or they are focused on the right thing and they're not carrying out the plan in the way they should, okay, because they haven't understood the parameters. Okay. I see people go back to their 3D jobs trying to become an spiritual entrepreneur. But the thing is, so they lack the structure of how to move forward. I was completely lost. completely
Okay.
when I started this. Okay, so just to finish off, it's a shorter webinar than things because it's just you.
Yeah.
So if you want to come along, I'm just going to, I just have to move the webcams. So on the 3rd and 4th of February, over the weekend, okay, and it is £295 UK, about 380 US dollars. Okay. We have payment plans here, make it easier. £98, approximately 3 monthly payments, or about 125 US dollars. It fluctuates a lot, the exchange rate. And if you guys want to find out more who are watching, go to marketingandmanifestingyourbusiness.com and that'll tell you more. And if you're registered for this webinar, you can just email me or go to Marketing and Manifesting Your Business, and you can basically send me a message from the website if you're watching this. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Any
Okay.
other questions? Any other questions, Ariel? So we're going to this will get you out there, basically. Well, the beginnings, it's introduction to getting out there. That's what this is about.
Okay. Okay. And like during this couple of days, will we be going into like deeply making that mind shift, or we're going to go through some healing aspects and pulling out some parts of us that would get in the way of that? How does that kind of look too?
We don't have time to go into deep, long processes because
Sure.
there's so much to cover, as I've shown you, the topics. It's more like a taster. These are the issues you got to understand and address here. So I'll just lay out the map, the landscape. That takes 2 days in itself. Okay. So to address the other issues requires ongoing coaching, and on the ongoing coaching program, which will be introduced to you at the end of the training. Okay. Because now once you understand the landscape, the map, then you can say, okay, now I know what I have to do. Here's the daily process, because in creating a new business, a 5D business, that requires you have a coaching session or meeting or group call, go off and try it out, bring your feedback next week. Get feedback. This is what happened. Here's what you do. So you get better ideas, more structure, go and improve it. So basically it's trial and error. And when you do that and you go through the different elements of becoming a spiritual entrepreneur, eventually you become one. Okay? So, and the amount of time it takes depends on how much time you can allocate to it per week. But it does require work. It's not, some people think they can just go and do it, but they don't have this realization that it does take time, because you're deprogramming a whole lifetime of
absolutely
negative programming in the matrix and the way it is, because the way we do business is not the way corporate business works at all.
Right. Okay.
Not at all.
Okay, so in between now and then, what can I be working on to get myself more prepared for this shift?
I will be doing your divine healing. Okay. I'll be meditating and tuning into your higher self, because there's a divine plan, which is what's called a visionary template. I'll be ask the higher self what it is, to start to flesh out the plan for you and just write it down. Because now you're on this, the higher self knows that you have the structure to turn that into a reality. Very few light workers actually carry their mission out, and the purpose of this is to get everyone who engages with this program so they do manifest their mission. So it moves from just being an exciting dream to actually a physical reality. And that's a completely different thing. A physical ground of reality, we light workers can get very excited about our vision, and we can be excited for 30 years and nothing happens.
Sure, absolutely.
You familiar with that idea? So we're going beyond that. We're saying, here's our exciting idea. Let's distill this down to something that actually physically is going to go out in the world and make a difference. It's going to engage people. It's going to create change. That's a much more challenging proposition, but a much more fulfilling proposition as well. So we're going to show you what actually works.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So gather your data. Get clear from your higher self what what the vision is, because it'll probably start fleshing out more to you, saying, okay, zero's got some structure, right? So now we're going to start feeding you stuff. It's going to, what the higher self does is it layers and it drops in pieces, and you go off and do something for a while, and then you integrate them and gives you the next piece.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
so start to open that channel up and watch what happens.
Okay.
Pay attention
right.
to all the little nuances, intuitive channel influences, and what's happening in our outer reality. Because the very fact that we've been turning up for this means that I said to the universe, okay, I'm ready to do this properly and consciously. Okay.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
it's going to say, okay, she's ready. So they're going to start giving you signs. So pay attention to everything. Because the universe will give you the answer to life, to your spiritual business. We just got to be receptive, and maybe most of the time it's not what our mind thinks. Okay, right. So our job is to focus on the vision that comes through us. Okay, and then to listen to spirit and how to put it together. I'll give you an example. This workshop's been percolating for 10 years or so, and I was doing yoga beginning of last year. My team said to me, sit down at the laptop, we have a new workshop for you. I said, I'm doing my yoga. They said, sit down, please. And in an hour and a half, they downloaded the entire workshop on a spreadsheet. You just saw they just downloaded the whole lot. I was just typing like mad for an hour and a half. And I looked at it thinking, that's pretty good for an hour and a half. We just gave birth to a whole new workshop. And they said, okay, we want you to market it now. And run it in 2 or 3 weeks. I said, no one will come. It's not enough time. I said, just do it. I followed it. 12 people turned up.
Okay.
They loved it.
Yeah.
You see, so that's me following the flow, because I had the vision of it. They said, okay, time to turn to reality. Here's how we do it. Okay.
Yeah.
We're off to the races. So this is how we do it as spiritual entrepreneurs. We've got to follow the energy. Not of the left brain, but the intuitive right brain, the little inklings from spirit.
Okay.
And spirit will guide us. Because I think the biggest fear we have as spiritual entrepreneurs is that, oh my God, I've got to figure this out, pay the bills, pay the mortgage, get the kids through university. Oh, this is really hard work. Yeah. But if we just let go and listen, someone else is in charge. Our consciousness is in charge. And we just got to let go and trust it, because it has a plan. But it wants to live it through us, because we are the ones who have to physically, viscerally experience it. Okay, and that gives us fulfillment, and it gives spirit the experience of service with love. Okay, so we're actually part of a greater consciousness. It's not just little Zuriel sitting in a body there in Utah, me sitting there outside London in the middle of winter. It's basically us as sparks of the divine helping the rest of the divine wake up. So there is a plan, and there's nothing to worry about. As long as we follow the plan, it'll happen. But it's a free will choice to follow the plan. So we talk a lot about it and stuff. Does that help?
Certainly does. Yes. Thank you so much. And how do I book and get into that?
Okay, so basically, you can share the screen. Go to this marketing and manifesting your business here.com. Okay, we go to this. We go here.
Okay, got it.
Let's go into this. Type it in. It'll bring up the website page, hopefully. It will work. Here it is here. This is on our website, Center for Conscious Ascension. Marketing, manifesting your business. This takes you through pretty much what we just talked about. Testimonials, if you want more info. And then this is the course here. And you just click on Join Now.
Perfect.
Fill in the form or load. Just fill in all the form, fill in all the details in full. And then ask some questions so we understand your background. I understand it because I know you, but some people may not have. Agree to the terms and conditions and payment. You can pay the full fee here, or just deposit 97. Okay. And then if you, so we say we went for the full fee, for example, and you just put a 1 in here, one place. If you want pay in 3, okay. She's not set up here, is it? I don't think it allows us to do on this one. To check that. Should be, right? Maybe that's missing on this one. I have to go and check that. Maybe it doesn't have the pay in through this one. Let's go and fix that. But it should be there. And then you're ready to go. We'll just pay the deposit and you pay the balance a few weeks beforehand. Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
All right.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it so much. Gratitude.
All right. Thanks for your time.
Right. Absolutely. Okay. Well, I'll see you soon.
Take care. All right.
All right.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.